Today we're talking about the DEWALT DCCS620 20-volt chainsaw and answering some commonly asked questions. Let's jump right into it. Has a 12-inch bar and takes oil like a traditional chainsaw, and here's where you put the oil in. So we had a tree fall last night, and so that's where something like this can come in really handy. There's no gas to mess with, no wondering if it's going to start because it's been sitting all winter long. This thing's just pop a battery on, it's going to start. So here we go, let's chop up some down tree.
It starts with one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. A design is trying to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away. It's so unreal. Didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on to didn't even know or wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. The time is fine to remind me somehow I tried so hard. In spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property. Remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised they got so. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of the time when I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't.
I don't know, may not be. Kind of pushing it to its limits.
I can go for all this. There's only one thing you should know. I've put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
So we had to go over there a different day because the batteries died, but I wanted to point out some different things that I saw people asking about online, and one of those is in regards to the battery. Will this work with a FlexVolt saw? I've seen people say, oh, you shouldn't use your FlexVolt batteries with your 20-volt tools. It works just fine for this. This thing is great. We did quite a bit of cutting, and we still have a full battery. So that is really good, and so I'm happy with that. People mentioned oil leaks, asking if it leaked. I have not experienced that at all. You fill the oil here, you pull this little thing up here, you twist it once, just like a quarter turn, and it pulls right out. Easy to do. So I haven't experienced any oil leaks with this saw. Another thing is people sometimes will say that it saw will either not work or lose power or even smoke. I haven't had that. What it seems to be is sometimes people don't realize that the chain brake is either on or not all the way off. So just make sure you pull it back. In fact, you can tap it right on the handle of the saw here, and you know that it's off all the way. And then when you pull the trigger, you shouldn't have that issue. Some people have reported the saw stopping, like maybe a capacitor or a motor issue. I haven't had any issues with that. I haven't had it pinch and stop. This thing has been great. Although it didn't stop due to pinching or any motor problems, it did stop when the battery died. Duh. One thing that I really like about this saw is you can adjust the tension, and you can do things like change the chain without having to have a bunch of tools. You have some knobs here. In fact, you can see this one here is much like the oil, where you can just flip that up and that allows you to turn it. So that's kind of nice. Okay, if you want to tighten or loosen the chain on this saw, what you do is you flip this thing down and then you just loosen this up, and that just essentially pulls this little clamping plate away from the bar and allows you to then turn this. So you turn this clockwise to tighten the chain or counterclockwise to loosen it, and then you would tighten this thing back up, flip that back down, and you're done. People do ask how this thing compares to a gas chainsaw, and it's pretty nice. Even though it's slower, it's lighter. It's doesn't have much maintenance. There's no fumes to deal with. A lot less maintenance. So it just works. You don't have to worry about gas being old or any of that kind of stuff, mixing oil and gas. You just hit the button for the little safety button, pull the trigger, and it just runs. It's nice. People ask about chip binding, and I honestly have not had that experience with this saw. It's been really good. I haven't had any issues with it stopping because it's pinching or chips binding up in it or any of that stuff. I have had chip issues and pinching issues with other saws, including the Milwaukee hatchet, this Ryobi pole saw, which you can see has thrown the chain. But to be fair, this is older. This chain is probably stretched, and we probably didn't tension it enough. And you can see that you do need a tool there to change or adjust this. Something people ask about is whether you can use this thing one-handed, and I don't want to recommend it because you could get hurt. You don't want this thing coming back at your leg, and you will see us doing that in this video. So if you try it and you get hurt, don't sue me. I'm just a chump with a chainsaw, just some dude on the internet. So yeah, don't do it unless you feel comfortable. Technically, you could do it. You can hold the branch, and this thing is light enough that you could hold this with one hand for a little bit of time. It's not as light as something like the Milwaukee hatchet, but it's light enough that you can do that if you need to. Soyboy Personal Finance 1138 asks about the chain life, and he asks how long it would last and if you could maybe cut enough to, say, fill a truck bed. And the answer is I believe so, because although I can't say exactly how much I've cut, I've used this on several projects, and if I had to guess, we've cut at least enough with this saw to at least fill a truck bed. And this thing does not seem to be dull. We haven't changed the chain. So I think it's great. And I would recommend with any chainsaw though that you keep an extra on hand, and I will put the price up on screen, what the current price is at Home Depot, so you can have an idea of what a replacement chain for this would cost. DEWALT says you'll get 90 cuts on a treated 4x4 on a 5 amp hour battery. So this is what we get with a 5 amp hour and a 6 amp hour battery fully charged on the DEWALT chainsaw. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'd love to talk to you down there. So what's been your experience with this saw? Have you had any issues that people have asked about on the internet? Or has your experience with it been as good as mine? Do you have any saws that you recommend? If you haven't, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.